Hey guys, Niddleman here. Welcome to my first review on this channel for 2016. I did review the movie The Forest over on the channel WeLiveFilm. There's a link to that channel in the description below. But before we begin the review for this movie, please let me know what you think of my new intro. The Revenant. This movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy in a movie about a guy who's basically seriously injured and he's left for dead and he's on a quest for survival and revenge. Realistically, this movie is about the measures anyone will take if they are motivated enough and the levels and extremes people will go to survive to see a goal that they have set in their mind being met. The one thing I absolutely loved in this movie was the cinematography. They had these absolutely gorgeous locations in these really snowy mountains, and you could just feel how cold it was. And they had these really long, steady shots during these really cool action scenes where they're like riding horses and shooting at each other or just fighting or whatever. They didn't need to use that gimmicky, shaky cam thing where you can't really tell what's going on, and they use it to hide imperfections with filming. They had these really nice shots. Also, the acting in this movie was amazing for everyone involved, especially Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, in this movie, he really doesn't say a whole lot in the movie. He doesn't have a whole lot of lines because the majority of the movie is him by himself struggling to survive, crawling around, injured, just barely hanging on. But you can just feel his pain. You can feel his motivation and his anger for why he's driven to do what he's doing. And he just does a spectacular job. He's probably going to get snubbed again at the Oscars. Tom Hardy plays this character Fitzgerald, which is the one that put Leonardo DiCaprio in the situation he's in to a certain extent. And the cool thing is that even though he's basically the villain in this movie technically, you can kind of see why he does what he does, which makes him a good villain, because on one hand you can see Leonardo DiCaprio's side and why he's doing what he's doing, but Tom Hardy's character is also somewhat relatable. You can kind of see why he's angry. You can see why he's doing the things that he's doing. He's not just some evil dude. He has reasons for doing them, and I like that. And if you haven't heard already, one really cool thing they did with this movie, which probably made it very difficult to film, is that they used natural light. They didn't have studio lighting people up. They just used fire, the sun, whatever. So they probably had short periods of time while they're filming this movie, like, we got to get that shot in. Man, I don't know how they did that. It looked so professional and so good. I loved that. But this movie's not perfect, because even though I loved all those things about this movie, the one thing that kind of held this movie back a little bit for me was the length. This movie, it's not 3 hours long, but it's pretty close. And I could definitely feel the length. Like, there's a couple times I checked my watch and I'm just like, man, I really wish the pacing would pick up a little bit. Because while there are scenes in there that are very action-packed and intense and you're really engaged, there's also certain sections in the movie that are just kind of like, okay, let's move the story along a little bit, It kind of reminds me of that movie There Will Be Blood, if you ever saw that. It's one of those movies that's very good, but it's also very long and probably a movie you're only going to see one time. Because while this is an amazing movie, it's not one I'm going to be rushing out to see again and again. You know what I mean? It's kind of a one-time, see it, take it in, that's awesome, but probably never watch it again. This movie is very attractive, and I'm going to give it girlfriend material. It has a lot of substance and you need to give it a chance, but it's not perfect. Alright guys, so if you're new to my channel and you're not familiar with my rating system, please click the little I and click the video to watch the video on my rating system. Also, I would love to know if any of you guys have your own little revenge stories of things that have happened to you where you're just like, I gotta get that guy back. Please let me know and comment below. I'd love to hear some of those stories. And please remember to like and subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for some more movie reviews if you can handle it. Go!